Hello, I'm Ben Luke. I'm the host of the art newspaper's podcast, The Week in Art. And this week, I'm delighted to say that at last, we're at the Artemisia exhibition at the National Gallery in London. We take a tour of the show with Letizia Treves, its curator, and we pick out some of the dramatic highlights. Here she is talking about Judith and Holofernes, one of the first paintings that Artemisia makes when she leaves Rome for Florence.
For me, this picture is all about the physical struggle, just how hard it is for them to overcome him. It's about female agency, it's about determination, about resolve. And I think the violence of it is really shocking. And, in the 17th century, the Florentine biographer said that it sort of evoked non poco terrore, a lot of horror. And, when you look closely, it's this sort of blood spilling down the bed sheets, spurting onto her bodice and onto her chest. And that's a really unique invention on Artemisia's part. And even I love this detail of Judith with one hand is clasping his hair, and you can see the tufts of hair poking through her fingers. And then with the other, she's sort of brandishing the sword, and you can see the way the hilt of the sword is sort of pressing on the flesh of his arm. But I think you also get a sense of what she brings to the subject that other people don't. I mean, Caravaggio also painted this subject in a really horrific and violent way. But his Judith isn't so convincing. She's rather statuesque, completely unemotional. And here I think what Artemisia does is she puts herself in the shoes of her protagonist, and she imagines what would it take for Judith to actually do this terrible act. So she changes the story. The maidservant, instead of being outside the tent, keeping watch, waiting with the bag, ready to put the head in the bag, she brings her inside the tent, and she's sort of pinning Holofernes down. She's a real, she's an accomplice. They're in this together. It's often seen also as a sort of revenge in paint against Tassi. And, I think in some ways that sort of dilutes the impact that Artemisia had as an artist. I think we have to be careful not to just read her pictures through that lens of her rape. But she must have relished the opportunity to paint a woman overcoming a man.